just point to the logo on my chest and tell them, Slammy, ego, Slammy, ego, Slammy, ego, Slammy, hey. Hit it up hard, hit it with a strike. From the national anthem to the bottom of the night. I'm in Slammy, ego, Slammy, ego, Slammy, ego, Slammy, hey. You already know what's up. What's that? Another home run. We should know the job ain't done till we hold that trophy up. Hey.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 357 of the Talking Friars podcast and YouTube show. Got a special guest with me, Nick Soto, Manny Machado's trainer. It is a great day. We've been trying to pull this off for a while, and I'm so glad to see Nick come on the show. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks for having me, man. Sorry it took so long to get this going.
No problem. This guy is a busy guy. We'll first start off with Manny, the extension. 11 years, $350 million, his second big contract with the Padres. I just want to know, like, your thoughts on the move, how excited you were for him when this news happened. And at some point, like during the offseason, did you get like a hint that he always wanted to remain with the Padres, like he's saying?
Yeah, actually, I can remember even being in San Diego visiting him last year, and him saying that he really hoped there was a way that they could figure it out because he wanted to stay there. He's over the moon that they got it done. And but yeah, even like I said, even during the season last year, he wanted to stay. I know that was a factor. You know, he's got his home there now. He's so happy there, and he said it would have sucked to have to leave it. So I know he's super happy about it.
Yeah, I'm sure you're happy. Are you going to get a little bit of a raise with the new contract or what?
Oh, I don't know about all that.
No?
I don't work that end of it.
Okay.
I'm happy for him. He deserves it, and San Diego deserves to have him there. So that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. Was he surprised that he didn't win the MVP last year? I know that matters to him. Like, he loves that. He loves that competitiveness, right?
Yeah,
he wants to win the team, but we know. I think you can say that he should have won MVP last year with all that he went through. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep saying it. You know, it's been months already, and I keep. I'm sure people are tired of hearing me say it, but yeah, he definitely deserved the MVP last year. I think we all know it. You know, even the way he came back from that injury that could have been crippling for anybody else. You know, and continue to have just a massive season. How far he carried the team. A lot of times single-handedly. You know, there's no way that he didn't deserve it, but it just made him more competitive to try to get it this year. You know, and. Yeah. I'm sure he really wanted it. You know, he won't tell you that. I'm sure he won't tell you that directly, but I'm sure he did want it, and we all know he deserved it. So I think he's going to come with a fury this year and try to get it.
Yeah, when we go back to last year and the injury in Colorado, can you take me through, like, if you had any communication with him through that process, those 9 games that he missed, like, can you kind of detail what was going on? Did you have recommendations for him? I know the Padres have a training staff as well, and he's working.
They have a great staff.
But they have a great did you have any communication there?
Yeah, we did. Immediately. First, as soon as it happened, I was on the phone with his wife trying to figure out what was going on. Trying to hope that she stayed calm and that she could give me some information because it looked pretty devastating, to be honest with you. We were all kind of freaking out over here. In Miami, but I got on the phone with him, I believe that night, and he said, I think it's going to be okay. I don't think it's that serious, but they still didn't know how bad it was. And then a couple of days later, he sends me a video of him jogging, you know, and then a couple of days later, he sends me a video of him jogging a little faster. And then finally I got a video of him sprinting about a week in, you know, and then he sends me a video of him actually taking some at bats and stuff again, about a week in. And I was blown away because I honestly, like, when it happened, I thought he definitely broke something along the chain, right? Whether it had been an ankle or even a knee, I thought it could have possibly been a tibia break, definitely at least a fibula break, something like that. And it was none of that. I was so surprised. He actually hit me up a few days later. He said we told me he thought he was going to be good, and he's like, "Thank God we do all that BS ankle work that we do that he hates so much." But I guess he finally saw the mirror and it worked out.
Yeah. I mean, so that process, those like 9 games, because he was telling on Ben and Woods in San Diego last week, other week in when they were in Peoria, like that's like a 6 to 8 week thing, and he was playing like on one leg. because of how much he wanted to be out there and he knew he had to help his team. Like, if you were in that situation as like one of the trainers or something, and there wasn't like the season on the line, how long do you think he would have missed if it wasn't like him having to go out there and play, you know?
Just him being him, I doubt they would have been able to keep him out of the lineup either way, to be honest with you. I know he, you know, especially, you know, when you're playing that well and you're that hot, like, you don't want to sit down, you know? You're going to find a way to play. And I mean, he dealt with pain. Don't get me wrong. It was, from what I understand, it was real painful throughout the entire process. But it wasn't, you know, it wasn't something that that he felt was going to, you know, cause more problems down the line. So he's like, okay, I'm just gonna gut it out, and he did. You know, he gutted it out great. You know, I don't think there would have been anybody that would have been able to hold him back. But yeah, I mean, typically, I mean, that's at least a 4 to 6 week injury, and if not more. You know, but goes to show, you know, how hard he works in the offseason to get himself right, and then it also goes to show, you know, just, you know, he's a bit of a freak in certain things. You know.
And that's leadership. Like, when you're looking at, you know, younger players coming up, I know they have a lot of veterans now, but younger players, guys in the minor leagues, whoever, like, you want to be the face of a franchise, or you want to be really successful like this, go look at Manny. Go look at what this guy is doing. Look at what he's doing with Nick Soto in the offseason. Like, that sort of stuff, right? Like, that's leadership. And I'm sure that fired up the guys in the clubhouse, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, yeah, he's definitely become a true leader over the last few years. You know, his maturity has obviously shown on and off the field, and that's part of it is, you know, sucking it up and going out there and doing what you can for your team.
Check out Gaglione Bros' famous cheesesteaks and garlic fries on Friars Road. You can visit their website, gaglionebros.com, for their entire menu and enjoy their cheesesteaks and fries at Petco Park and Snapdragon Stadium as well.
Yeah, definitely. So Manny obviously had a pretty long postseason. He obviously wishes that it was longer. But what was different between last offseason's training and this offseason's training? Like, was it, you know, more of a delay to start really going because of the longer postseason, or it's the same time frame of recovery? It's just pushed back, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, we had to push it back a little bit. Obviously, we usually start a little earlier. Just because of the timing of it. But once he got in town, we pretty much started going right away. We were careful about how much exposure we gave him early to the, you know, all the crazy power stuff that's been out there that we do and stuff like that. So we brought it along at a very steady pace, just to make sure that, you know, his body was ready to go by the time we did start hitting it hard. So we did about 3 to 4 weeks of prep phase, which is not unlike any other time period, except that now we had it condensed, right? And then I obviously had to be cognizant of the ankle and make sure that I didn't do anything that aggravated it any more than it already was and stuff like that. So we had to get that right. So basically we just kind of like tempoed it out a little bit better than other seasons. But other than that, once we got after it, I mean, we really got after it. He's moving some massive weight again. He's feeling good. So
what was the goal of this off-season's training? Is it the same pretty much every year, like just get better, get stronger? Or, because I know like last off-season you said something about being, I think, a little more leaner. I think that's something you were saying about going into last off-season.
Yeah, so that was the original goal. So a couple years ago we wanted to bulk him up, and we and that might have gotten misconstrued by somebody that heard you last time. But yeah, we purposely bulked him up. We put some mass on him, and we also got faster though when we did it.
Yeah.
And then last season it was okay. Let's lean you up a little bit. Maybe we put too much bulk on you. But he's kind of in that age where now, if we push too much on the weights, the bulk is going to come, the mass is going to come, which is great in a way. So last year we ended up we tried to lean out. We ended up about the same weight, but he was, you know, I think 0.06 of a second faster in his 10-meter fly, and that's like a distance of 10 meters at your maximum speed. He was damn near a 1/10 of a second faster in his 30-yard sprint, so 30-yard acceleration. So we added the bulk, and he got the speed and power out of it. So we were great with it, right? So this year again, our goal was, keep him healthy, keep him at a lighter weight that's going to make him real comfortable to last 160 plus games and stuff like that. And I think we did a pretty good job of that.
Long term, like obviously he has a track record of playing every day, pretty much wants to play every day, does not want to miss games. Like even if he doesn't have to play third base a game, well, he's not missing the game. He's going to DH. Like he's going to be in the lineup, and we can count on that. That's why I love him. I love Jake Cronenworth, guys that don't miss games. When you look at like the long term program for him, is it going to be more of the same as he ages with this new contract, or are you going to be changing that, maybe like mid-30s, let's say?
Yeah, well, it's already evolved in 7+ years. It's already evolved quite a bit from where we were originally to where we are now, and it'll continue to evolve, obviously, as he matures, his body matures, and also as my training kind of philosophies kind of shift, a little bit here and there. So luckily, him and I do a lot of communicating in the in season, obviously, as we're training him in the in season, and then obviously as we're getting ready for the off season training, we do a lot of communicating based on what we liked in the previous off season, what we didn't like, what worked, what we felt could have been better. And so every year is kind of like a recollab and getting together, figuring out exactly what's going to be of most benefit that off season, right? So there's always progress, there's always adaptation and changes. So yeah, obviously that'll continue as his body ages. As far as I'm sure intensity will still be pretty high. We might reduce volume here and there as needed for recovery, right? But he does a good job of that. He's on top of his recovery as well. Make sure he gets the right amount of sleep. He's not one of these guys that's ever been out there doing stuff that is going to get him tired. His nutrition is usually pretty on point. He does all the other recovery stuff that he needs to do, the stretching, the massage, and all that. So as long as he stays on that, I think we'll be able to push the performance side of things, the strength side of things for quite a few years to come.
And when you hit on the sleep part, like, so I think growing up, people are told like 7-8 hours, but for professional athletes like Manny, is it more like try to get literally as much sleep as you can when you get home at, midnight, like 10 hours, or is it okay, 7-8 hours?
Yeah, I think 7-8 hours is good. As long as, you're doing all the other recovery things, as long as your nutrition's on point, and you're getting that good quality sleep. Quality sleep is really the biggest part, even more than the total hours of sleep, I'd say. That's not my kind of like forte or anything like that when it comes to recovery, but I do know that quality 8 hours is pretty optimal.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Manny's wife here just for a second.
Yeah,
just go kind of behind the scenes, like what she's like as a human being, as a supporter for Manny, and how big that is for him in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. No, she's awesome. I mean, anybody that knows her kind of will tell you the same thing. Just great person, a very giving, kind person. Is always worried about things that have nothing to do with her or Manny at all. Even with my personal life, as far as you're working too hard, you're working too many hours, or you need to take a little break here and there. She's always kind of like cognizant of that stuff. But like I've never had a player's wife worry about that with what their strength coach is doing, right? She's out there in the community. She cares about Manny's name, about Manny's legacy. Obviously, it's always, she's the backbone, right? And Manny will tell you that, right? She's the backbone of the family. She's the backbone of his career, and just the foundation that keeps it all together.
World Baseball Classic is coming up.
Yep.
Manny, I know he's super excited for that with Team DR. So, are you going to be going to some of those games in Miami?
About a year ago, I didn't realize it'd be down here in Miami. I'm going to be gone for most of it. I'm going to be out of town, unfortunately, for most of it. I committed to something else. But yeah, hopefully they make a big stretch, and I'll be able to come in and catch them on the back end towards the semifinals and finals.
Are you Team DR because Manny, or are you
100%.
Team USA? Okay.
100%. Yeah. DR people are awesome to begin with. They're just great people, so it's hard not to root for them. And then obviously Manny's there, so yeah, I'm definitely going to go to DR all the way. Yeah. Are you still working with Nick Martinez at all, or did you ever? So Nick Martinez actually works in my facility, but he works with another one of the coaches. Okay. But yeah, I see him regularly, and Nick's another great dude, and just a consummate professional. And what he's done to get himself to that level is pretty crazy. So
It seems like both guys Manny and Nick have just huge work ethics. I mean,
oh yeah,
huge team players as well. Like both,
absolutely,
they're very comparable. It seems like personality wise.
yes,
Yeah. Last question here. So Mannys Diet, I think we talked about it a little bit last time, but could you go back over just for new listeners, viewers, on what he's doing to keep himself, fueled for in season?
yeah. Well, for this season, I'm not sure if he's taking on a chef this year. I'm not sure what how he's gonna handle that, to be honest with you. But it's what most athletes should be doing. A high protein diet. You know, keeping things clean as possible. I'm sure he's gonna have McDonald's here and there because he freaking loves McDonald's, and that's fine. I love McDonald's too. So, but yeah, but mostly it's just eating a good amount of macros and the right amount of calories on a daily basis, and just make sure your body just stays fueled, stays hydrated. He's also really good about staying hydrated. Probably a lot better than I am about it. And make sure the proteins are good, and high, and then the carbs are clean, and then then he has the right amount of fats to just keep his energy up and keep his mental cognizance up as well.
Yeah, definitely. All right, this has been super fun. Nick Soto's the man. He is super busy. So Nick, I really appreciate your time. This has been episode 357 of the Talking Friars podcast and YouTube show. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, bud.